Hello, and that is the wrong overlay. There we go. Clicked the wrong button. Welcome back to Exodus, not water. Exodus. Um, I'm excited for tonight because we just barely met Vixen at the end of the last session, and now we get to um figure out how we're gonna react to this. And apparently, we're not allowed to kill her, so we'll see what happens. Um,
It could be
before we-
water. That was a discussion that we were having. Could be water.
that's also the funny thing. We were literally just talking about water, and I Exodus and water are right next to each other on Streamlabs. I just misclicked. It's funny. Anyways, before we dive into all of that, I'm gonna let everybody introduce themselves and their characters, and then we'll pass everything off to Vanessa. So starting top left, which for this one is me. I'm Raven. I play Niklaus Sebastian Adama, who's now been pretty much just shortened down to either Nick or Klaus, depending on which personality I'm playing, because the character is very much a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde science experiment gone horribly wrong kind of a thing. So you've got Nick, who is the rich, arrogant, smarmy doctor from Topside, who's sort of a cunning, long game kind of a villain type. And then you've got Klaus, who is very similar to Mark Hamill's Joker, with just like things are funny and let's go, kill everything, and more just in the moment ambition than well thought out ambition. So both of them are villains, and it's really fun to play in a campaign where I'm not the villain. So that's Niklaus, and then for me, I'm Raven. I'm the creative director for the Raven Evermore, which is my brand for all the various things I do, most of which are tabletop related. My link tree is right there in chat with all the information for the various projects and things that I work on. And then sponsors are Fundamental RPG and Intrepid. You can find both of those at coffee.com/raven/shop. So just like it says at the bottom of the screen, just add /shop to the end of it, and you can find both Fundamental RPG and Intrepid there. Fundamental is a tabletop system that I developed, which is the one that Animus, Water, and Hundreds of Calamity 2 have all been based on, or built on. It's still available for pre-order for about another day, and then it will be into the full final version. Excuse me. So definitely go check that out and pick up a copy. And then Intrepid is adventuring gear for real life, so athletic, outdoor, and casual wear with a tabletop theme to them. You can find all of that stuff at the same location, and it's pretty awesome as well. All of that out of the way, I'll pass it on over to Rowan. Tell us a little bit about Pepper Ann and yourself.
Hello, yes, I am Rowan. I am a freelance illustrator and art educator. You can find my stuff at rowannorthillustrations.org. Currently, I'm working on pre-orders for my new paint set for spring, which is all duochromatic and color shifting, pastel-y, springy colors. So I'm very excited about that. I'm going to start pushing that a bit more once I'm done making paper. Yes, that's the other thing I'm doing. I'm going to start releasing that soon in packs of 5. That's me. But let's talk about Pepper. Pepper is a little fry short, few fries short of a Happy Meal, but means well, as opposed to the rest of these crazies. She tends to be more on the sweet side, but she has issues. She has 2 dogs, both named after gods of the hunt, and their names are Artemis and Hern, and they are there as her constant companions, and she can talk to them and take direct control of them. So it's pretty exciting. So that is Pepper. Yeah.
Fantastic. And next we've got Yaz. Tell us a little bit about Bambi and yourself.
I play Bambi Darling, the starlit harlot of Exodus, who has now come face to face with the person that she hates more than anybody else. Probably. I say that because she probably hates Vixen for reasons that she doesn't realize she hates Vixen for, but that's a different story. And we'll make into it. My brain doesn't work today. I am a visual storyteller and illustrator. I have so many projects that I don't want to talk about any of them, so I will just drop my shop link here in chat. And you can check out everything that I do there if you're interested in any of my artwork. Yeah. That's me.
Fabulous. And then last but not least, V, tell us a little bit about yourself and this wonderful world and game and system that you've put together here.
Hi, I'm Vanessa. I am the token Canadian of the group, and I am the GM for Exodus. This is a system that I made myself. Don't ask me why, but I figured, you know what? First time GMing, let's go all out. Multiple seasons, homemade system. Yeah, here we are. I play everybody else in the small little universe that is the Sunken City. But primarily I play Anastasia Petrova, who is a nurse, actually. Before everything kind of hit the fan, she was a nurse working under the top doctor of Exodus. So she's seen some shit, that's for sure. She's also the one who sent out the SOS signal to draw in Niklaus and Sydney. And kind of started that, was the catalyst that started that whole shenanigans, I suppose, that brought them to us, and how our story was able to unfold with their help. But yeah, so we do have as well Riley with us in the voice chat today. Riley, just for clarification, are you going to be joining us in playing, or are you just here to be the peanut gallery today?
Vibe with us, whatever you want.
I'd love to vibe with you all. Yes, as long as my computer doesn't die, I will be able to. Actually, I'll need somebody to roll for me, but if you're up for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I'm here vibing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Riley wasn't a secret or anything. You know, she's gonna join us today as a little special guest, and reprise her role as Sydney for the time being, just as a little treat for the rest of us. But she came in at just a good time, because now we've gotten to Vixen, and we'll have to see how that goes. But yeah, last session we ended off coming into the entertainment district. We didn't do very much looking around yet, haven't done any searching. Bambi was intending to show us her lounge, the place where she used to hang out most. But that was promptly interrupted by the sound of a shotgun and a voice that she knew all too well to be that of the other darling of Exodus, coming for Bambi's crown. That would have been Vixen. So now tensions are a little high. I think Bambi's a little overexcited, a little overeager to jump in on this whole situation. But yes, I please ask you that you not kill Vixen right away, just because I have a feeling that she's of more use to you alive than she is dead. Although her shotgun is pretty cool, so I don't know, if you do decide to kill her, at least she'll get a nice shotgun out of it.
You know, Bambi's most certainly not the best at delineating what is important and what isn't, but I'm gonna try as best in character. I'm gonna try.
You know what I just
A for
remembered?
effort. What?
Klaus has a
What?
Tommy gun now.
Klaus does have
No.
a Tommy gun. I
No.
gave that to you
No.
to use
Why?
Responsibly. That's what I did.
Responsibly.
Do
That
not make me
sounds
regret it.
like a very poor life decision.
Okay, we're both talking about Raven and Raven's characters here.
Yeah.
That is very true. I don't know why I did that. See, me being a GM, me being a good friend is getting in the way of me being a good GM because I'm like, oh, my friends want a weapon. I should give
My
it to
friends
them.
want a Tommy gun. I'll help bury the body.
I love how Jay put it, responsible.
Yep.
Vanessa, you're an animus. You can't use that word. In all seriousness, though, I do need to know how much ammo it has and how much damage it does because we never established that.
That is right.
Because I think we both completely forgot that it existed once the
We did.
session was over. Until just now.
I'll have to look and see what the other guns are listed as.
Okay, no rush.
Yeah, we'll come back to it. But yeah, so if you guys just want to run through and refresh yourselves, each other, myself, where you were when we last ended off, and what you were doing.
Bambi was getting ready to have a standoff with Vixen.
She sure was.
That's all I got. That's about as far as Bambi has thought.
I think Klaus, I know for sure Klaus has been like obsessed with finding a new suit because his is damn near destroyed at this point. And I think is probably annoyed at Vixen because she's delaying getting a new suit.
Okay. You and Bambi as well are over near the entrance to the lounge, I believe.
Yes, I believe we were walking arm in arm at that point because we were both excited to be in the entertainment district.
Yes. And just to give you guys a little bit of an idea before we finish establishing where we were, just as a little refresher on how this section of the entertainment district looks. So when you initially entered in through the main entrance, you walked into the main plaza. It's a wide open area. It's got a staircase in the middle. It's not a tight curling spiral, but it does wind in on itself before going up to the next level. And I believe that we established that all of the fixtures were made of marble. And then around the staircase, kind of to the rear of it, was a little kind of like wishing well pond where kids would kind of toss in pennies and make a wish, which has long since dried up and overgrown. There's some small change still left in it, but that's it. The plants and things that were growing around the outside, they had like some bushes and things like that to dress it up. Those have long since overgrown, fallen into the little coin pond as well. You do also notice that there is far more of a kind of blatant Greek influence to the architecture here. Not in like the shape of the room itself, but like these tacky little, I say tacky, but you know, it's Exodus, done well. There are, for example, columns in the corners of the room. So we've got like these huge ionic pillars that have like the little dressing at the top, and then the ridges as they go down to the base, which is also done in little designs and things. And a lot of similar kind of look to how the atrium was as well. So you've got like walls that have vines growing up the sides that have like flowers on them, things like that. At one point it was very well tended, very well groomed. But you know, as things do when they are left for long periods of time, that has kind of taken over. It's a large part of the ecosystem there now. We had along the back wall, we have Vixen's lounge to the left-hand side, we have Bambi's lounge to the right-hand side, and in the middle of them is a casino. It is good to note as well that the pillars that were at the very back on either side of the casino door, separating it from the two lounges, have fallen in on themselves, have crumbled, and they're now blocking the entrance to the casino. So you cannot, at the moment, see a direct entrance in there. You can't go in through the main entrance because everything is kind of crumbled in on itself. So yeah, when I say that you guys are closer to Bambi's side, you are on the right-hand side, not all the way to the end of the plaza in the back there, but kind of, a little closer to the center where the casino is. So Klaus and Bambi, you guys are on that side. Vixen is to the left, and then I believe Anastasia was still up by the staircase, kind of to the center of the room where that little wishing well pond is. Pepper,
Yeah.
you were up with Anastasia, right?
Yeah, I think so. Cause we just saw we were being led off by Bambi to her haunt, and she threw her little fit, and then Vixen was there. So she can't be too far behind.
Yeah.
So she's just kind of like watching this like exchange because she doesn't know too much about the beef, like the history between Bambi and Vixen, or any beef there. She's just kind of surprised to see another like conscious being that's not trying to kill them, or hopefully not trying to kill them.
Give it
She can't decide. She's trying to decide whether or not they are trying to kill each other or not. So her dogs actually show her visible confusion, like they're looking back and forth between Bambi and Klaus and Vixen, and Pepper's like, "You're not here to kill us, are you?" That's the best way to solve this problem. Just ask straight up, dead ass.
Yeah. So before Vixen will give you any sort of answer, Riley, just for your benefit, Sydney is tagging along with Klaus and Bambi, so she's closer to the right-hand side of the room, as they're now looking to the left-hand side where Vixen has come out of her lounge. And that doorway is covered over by a metal grate, which she has pushed to the side. It's kind of retracted in on itself, and she is leaning against that door frame with the shotgun in her hands. It's a sawed-off shotgun, which is cocked and ready to go.
I mean, valid.
Sweet.
She sees Bambi come in. She's like, "Yep, this shit can go sour. Let's get ready."
I will wait because Bambi's explosive. So if anybody wants to wiggle in there first.
What was the last thing that Vixen said?
You're asking a good one, Raven. I don't know. I know that she did make a comment about Bambi. So I don't know if she said it was nice to see her, or no, you know what it was? Bambi was making noise or something, and Vixen said, "I thought I heard the howling of a dog," or something like that.
Yeah, she was kind of insulting. She took the insulting route.
And all Bambi said in response was, "You."
Yeah.
That's what we left on.
If you guys have anything else to add, you can go ahead, because I'm looking up some source material that I sent to Riley ages ago that I have to bring back up for your benefit.
I think if the last thing that Vixen said was like, I thought I heard a hound wailing or something like that.
Yeah.
See, Klaus is not a good guy, but he does have some attachment to Bambi, and this rando has just insulted his friend who's going to take him to get a new suit, which he's very stuck on. And so I think his just response without skipping a beat is just going to be like, "Well, you're the bitch talking."
All that prompts from Vixen is a large smile, one that just splits her face. She looks like she's very welcoming. She likes that you've kind of fired back an insult to meet hers.
Bambi has like that cartoon expression of like boiling over, like she is flushed, and it goes like from her chest all the way to her face, like steam coming out of her ears.
I can
Just
totally imagine
like-
the cartoon like teapot.
Yes,
whistling.
exactly. And like her percolating in this fury that she has for Vixen is enough time. Like, she's so angry she can't even put a thought together.
Go ahead
Like,
and roll resistance for me.
oh fuck me. Resist. Oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh yeah, this is gonna go great.
I'm gonna get you to roll with disadvantage as well, just for the fact that the person who sets off your rage is literally right here. Up
Yeah.
until this point, you've just been
Oh.
thinking of her. Okay,
17.
all right.
It's not terrible. It's not as bad as it could have been.
So you
We-
feel those symptoms coming on, like you have in the past when you've just simply thought of Vixen.
yeah.
And it's almost like your rage is so overwhelming that it doesn't actually give the symptoms time to really kick in, because just this all-consuming rage is taking the forefront, the priority here. So if you can imagine that Bambi is so mad that it's overriding the symptoms of her being mad, that's what you're getting right now.
I assume this is visibly noticeable, yeah?
Oh yeah, no, like she's got her bloody dress like balled up into her fists, white knuckling the thing, like pulling it like have you ever got like you throw a little temper tantrum with your dress or your skirt or whatever, and you just have it
Yeah.
like pulled up against you? That's what she looks like. She's a 12-year-old about to cry about her ice cream.
Oh.
I think Klaus will just pull out that bat with the nails in it and just sort of like have it in one hand balanced, just, you know, sort of over next to Bambi and be like, I'm just going to pull this out and hold it here, and then whatever happens, happens.
Like, Bambi's so mad there's tears in her eyes.
what you get from Vixen in response is just this tinkling laugh. Like it's full of not humor, but it seems like she's enjoying this reaction that she's pulling out of
course.
Bambi. So that laugh kind of tinkles around in the room, kind of reverberates around the room itself. And also, just for Riley's sake, Klaus, we all know that Klaus is a separate entity now. None of us has
Yeah.
really taken the time to digest it. So
But-
we know that he's out and about.
And more
You
than that,
also-
because we didn't have that reaction, you know, we didn't really react when the truth came out. Klaus just figures it's fine to be Klaus at all points of the time.
Yeah.
It came out and everybody was like, yeah. And so Klaus was like, oh, okay, cool. All right.
Yeah,
Um,
we keep saying that's a back burner issue. We're going to discuss that later. Also, I know you know this, but just another time in case you do want to use it, Sid does have fire now.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So if there comes a point where she's like, oh, maybe I'll just light something on fire, you can absolutely do that. So how's Sydney feeling right now, seeing Bambi's reaction and Klaus so clearly on display is now holding a bat full of nails? How's Sid feeling?
So Sid's actually gonna put herself kind of in between Klaus and Bambi and Vixen. Just kind of like with her back towards Klaus and Vixen to kind of be like, to give the appearance that she's protecting them. But really,
Alright.
she's just really intrigued by this new stranger and their sawed-off shotgun.
So
All I could see is that meme with a cat at the dinner table and the woman on the other side of the dinner table.
Yeah, pretty much.
So is
Except
the
that-
dinner table?
yes.
Pepper's just kind of like looking, once again, still like looking between them. The dogs are looking back and forth and just like, You didn't answer my question. You're not here to kill us, right?
So when you ask again, Vixen turns her face in your direction, but her eyes are still on Bambi for a moment longer as she does this. But then finally she looks over at you, and with a smile on her face, kind of like a little twinkle in her eye, she says, "But darling, you came to my neck of the woods. If anybody should be asking that question, well, wouldn't it be me to you?"
I feel like this is a pretty appropriate time for Bambi to lose her shit, but I could be patient.
Well, I mean, Vixen just spoke, so I mean, it would be.
Yeah.
So Bambi is going to cut off whatever Pepper had in store for Vixen, and she like a bowl with flames and
On the
smoke
side of her
coming out
face?
Flames on the side of her face, burning.
She like sucks in a breath of air and she says, "How dare you? This isn't your neck of the woods. This was never your neck of the woods just because you're younger and prettier and men would throw themselves at you before they threw themselves at me. Doesn't make this your spot."
Vixen turns her attention back to you, Bambi. And all she does is raise one eyebrow, hold up her fist with her like pointer finger knuckles stuck out a little bit, and she just knocks very quietly on the metal section that she had pushed aside so that it rattles just a little bit, and like juts her chin out and motions to the sign above her door, which displays the name of the lounge. And she doesn't say anything, but it's like, you know, she's bringing your attention to the name of the sign as if to say, "This is my lounge. This is where I've always been."
Bambi flusters, like she really cannot get like any leverage in this argument, and she sputters out. She says, well, I don't see why you've got your shotgun out when we're going this way towards my lounge, so you can put your shotgun right up your ass and scuttle back in behind those steel doors, you prudy, terrible woman.
Now mostly Pepper looks just this kind of screwed up face of like whether she's not sure to laugh or be.
I'm laughing at Bambi.
Has Vixen been kind of like laughing this whole time, or was it just like a short laugh and then talking and whatnot?
It was a relatively short laugh. Like she's still the expression is still one of, you know, amusement. She's not angry or anything like that. She seems to be having a good time.
Okay, good. Because I want to do a sneaky sneak here, if I can, and I'll let you know, or I'll let you let me know what to roll for it. But the idea is Klaus is just going to start laughing and just being like, "Oh, this is great. It's just old friends getting back together is just wonderful." But like laughing continuously, getting closer to Vixen, you know, I'm gonna like slap you on the back and laugh and have a good old time with you, kind of a thing. To get close enough to Vixen to do something.
Okay. That's a good question, because I don't have a character sheet done for Vixen. So let me just see.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
You're laughing, I'm laughing. It's great fun.
We're all laughing. Not.
I don't know why I made this assumption, but I just automatically assumed that Vixen would be the type of NPC that you interact with in a way that's talking and information based, and not one where I'd have to roll.
Don't me. I'm trying so hard.
Do you not know us?
That was entirely my fault. I should have absolutely known that you guys were a bunch of fucking gremlins who want to fight everything. Hold on now. Okay, no, I've got it. It's okay. I'm going to get you to roll stealth, and I'm going to roll an opposed intuition.
All right. Holy shit. That is a 27.
Ooh. Okay. I have to roll really well.
I rolled a 19.
Aw, I rolled a 24. So you do get closer to her, and she doesn't really say anything. If she notices you coming up, she doesn't say anything about it.
Okay.
Or I should say it's an intuition. So she doesn't foresee you doing anything bad. So she's still cautious, but she lets you approach. She doesn't know you. She doesn't know that Klaus is an absolute asshole.
Oh, I had an idea, but this actually... I just had a different idea that sounds even better. Question.
Okay.
Could Klaus use the morphine from one of the med kits and just, now that he's snuck up behind her, just pull a Sid and randomly syringe out of nowhere?
Well, she's... What way do you try to go to get behind her? Because right now, the way she's positioned, she's standing in front of the door of her lounge, and she's got her body angled kind of in the middle, facing the two of you. So she kind of sees you approaching, but are you trying to go around her?
So Klaus is just sort of laughing, and then we'll like bend over and slap his thighs and just sort of move over to where Vixen is, kind of looking at Bambi and sort of acting like he's laughing at Bambi's expense.
Baby's like too angry to be heartbroken, but she's gonna remember this.
I know.
Bambi will remember this.
But using that to kind of get Vixen to drop her guard.
Right. You can try. Yeah, let's see. So the other question is, do you already have the syringe prepped, or is it something that you have to reach for? Because it's gonna give her another chance to see what's happening if you don't already have it prepped. Because now you're reaching for something.
I can see what's happening and they don't have a clue.
I guess it depends on if you're cool with Klaus having had that in hand before he starts moving, or not.
Does Klaus keep live tranks on his person?
Yes. They're in the med kits, so.
All right, I'll allow it. You guys are really busting my ass.
Because if not, I have another plan that's also pretty humorous.
Okay.
But slightly less
Fine humorous!
Yeah. If you would like to try and trank her, then yes, you can try. And because Klaus does have that on his person, we will say that he perhaps reached for it before moving.
Okay.
So I'll get you to do another stealth roll, and I'm going to do another opposed intuition to read a person or situation.
All right.
So you're close. You're standing close to her now, are you?
Yeah. He's just been laughing and maybe pointed with his free hand at Bambi and just really try to get Vixen's guard down, and is moving like he's gonna like slap her on the shoulder gently to be like, oh, that was a good one, that sort of thing.
Okay. Go ahead. Roll your trank.
What a jerk.
I can't do math. Yeah, that's what. Okay, so it's 23.
So you go to pretend as if you're going to slap her on the shoulder lightly. Ha ha ha, good joke, good one. You're so funny. I was gonna say Bambi. Wow. Bambi and Vixen are not the same person. If they were, that would be hilarious. Vixen kind of gets this feeling in the pit of her stomach that you are something to be cautious of. And
Would
she...
a D6 added to my roll change that?
What did you roll again?
23.
23? Yeah, you can try if you'd like.
Okay.
You
Because I
can
really want
try
this
if
to
you
work.
like.
Klaus is committing a lot of resources to this. I want this to work. It's a 6.
Jesus Christ. Yes, it works.
I'm so sorry, V.
This is why you guys can't have nice things, and I regret giving you a Tommy gun.
Just take Klaus's Tommy gun later.
Klaus accidentally drops it in a crack in the floor, and it drops down 3 stories.
It shatters.
Yeah, I should probably say that it shatters because we all know that Klaus would go down 3 stories after it, for fuck's sake.
Oh, he'd go down
so
there
yeah.
6 story or 3 stories or whatever for the shrapnel that's left over from it too, and be like, I can make all sorts of things with this.
Yeah, so with a 29? You had a 23 and you got a 6.
Yeah.
So with a 29, yeah, the Vixen starts to kind of get this feeling that she should step away from your hand, but the thought process is a little slower than your actions, and you are able to sneakily stab her with the syringe. Where do you stab her?
Probably like the fleshy part of the shoulder. So like on your arm where you usually get shots like that.
Stab her in the flesh.
So like
that is the idea.
the meaty part of the muscle
Yeah.
of her arm. Okay.
Just sort of a
all sense of playfulness that was in her face completely disappears as she swings around and moves backward. I'm gonna get you to roll dodge for me, please.
Okay.
Oh, it's fine. Unless you hit a nat 1, I don't think it's gonna do much.
And with that, Klaus is, I think, just gonna be like, whoopsies! Where did that come from? So that is a 11, 12, 13, 14.
Okay, I'm gonna roll a d6. Yeah, that's fine. All right, so with that, she just barely manages it. So as she kind of leans back away from you, steps away, she's very, very quick to bring the other hand up, the one that's not holding onto the shotgun, and just clocks you right in the face. She doesn't break anything. She doesn't, it's not something that's gonna last you a while or hurt you too much in the long run. She probably like busts your lip open or something. Like it's a nice, good clock. But other than that, it doesn't do you any harm. You might sting for a couple minutes, but that's about it. But just, you can see how fast her instinct is to just boom, clock you right in the face.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, you successfully do what you wanted to.
I think after the initial, impact, Klaus is just gonna be like, oh, that tickles.
That tight smile kind of comes back to her face in response, and through her teeth, she just said, "What did you inject me with?"
What? Oh, this is just a little morphine, just to help you relax. seemed a little uptight.
We don't like him.
Klaus probably just shoots a look like a death glare at Pepper and goes, the feeling's mutual.
Anastasia, who's standing by Pepper on that side, you can see her like she starts to close her eyes, but then opens them again because she doesn't want to close her eyes in the middle of what is potentially a hostile situation. But you can see just the exasperation that's entering her expression as she starts to close her eyes before she goes, "Oh wait, can't do that." And she kind of tries not to smile at Pepper's comment because she's literally rounding up a group of children at this point. But you can see that the comment itself kind of took her a little off guard. She didn't expect Pepper to just say that. So,
why not?
I
She's
don't know.
been saying from the beginning.
Yeah, I know, but the whole concept of being in a spot with a stranger and just going, "Yeah, we don't like him." It's just funny to her. Isn't this supposed to be your companion? Like,
Nope.
Love that. So great.
Companion who? What?
So, Bambi has like an entirely indecisive mix of emotions going on right here, with the primary one being rage. And she's going to like a big cat stalks prey.
Mhm.
Like she's just gonna slowly like walk around, just still like so red in the face, like Irish girl blush red. Stands out against the contrast of white dress and dark muddy brown blood stains. And until she gets like closer, like she's approaching like an equally large mean ass animal, and then look at Klaus and be like, "You are rude. That was mean, but thanks."
as you come closer, Vixen swings the shotgun back up into her other hand and points it
Wheels.
right at your midsection, right at your torso. She's just got this shotgun muzzle just pointed right at you. Sid, these people are moving past you. Now they're playing with proverbial fire, metaphorical fire here. How are you feeling about this whole situation? They've moved past you now. They've ignored your protection in favor of taunting your new companion here.
So Sid's actually going to, if Sid is able to make it there in time, stand between the shotgun and Bambi.
Aww. Sid at least, mildly is okay with Bambi.
At least mildly.
All right, Bambi, as Sid kind of comes over, do you have any reaction? Do you move to stop her, or do you just let her mosey on up?
For Bambi, that's a tough decision. When she swings the shotgun up, Bambi actually like jumps and squeals like kind of moment, and then like that childlike fury sort of changes a little bit, and she's and like the expression on her face kind of mellows out a little bit. And she puts a hand up to keep Sid out of the way, and she squares her shoulders, and she takes a step forward, knowing that the closer you are to the shotgun, the worse the damage is going to be. And she says, do you really want to do that? And goes on. She doesn't give Vixen a chance to talk. She says, you came out here for a reason. And I'm sure you recognized my voice before you recognized before you made the decision to confront whatever was out here. So either we have something that you want, or you're just as foolish as I think you are. And she stands her ground. She's like, but not quite as cartoony anymore.
As you kind of finish what you're saying, Vixen drops the barrel of the shotgun just a little bit in order to lean into you. And she leans her face all the way in so that her lips are pretty much to Bambi's cheek so that she can speak directly.
Yay! I'm sorry.
Listen, we don't know. Maybe Vixen plays that way. Nobody asked. But she leans right in so that her lips are close to Bambi's ear. And Bambi can't see her, but she's smiling. She can kind of hear that in her voice. And she says, you know, I'm rather proud of you for deciding to speak up to me for once. It's rather amusing, but I'm still proud. And as she kind of pulls back a little bit, she looks past Bambi and she looks at you, Sid. And she kind of gives you a quick glance up and down and kind of smiles to herself and then moves back and brings up the shotgun again.
What? With how close Vixen was to Bambi, is there a way that she can Bambi is petite, like she's tiny, so it's okay if it doesn't work, but if she puts her hand out, can she catch the shotgun before it makes it level with them again?
So when Vixen leans back and as she's leveling up the gun again?
Yeah.
Are you trying to grab it from her or just put your hand to stop it from rising?
Stop it from rising.
Yeah, sure.
Would you like me to roll for that?
Describe to me what the situation is. How is it going to play out? What is your intention for doing so? It depends on if it's more of an offensive thing or if
it's mostly defensive. It's actually more of a gut reaction of just batting the muzzle away from them. Because if Bambi fails and she fires the shotgun, she's lost an arm.
I won't ask you to roll just because this is kind of just trying to keep it down, pointed downwards instead of taking it from her. If she had intended to pull it out of her hands or anything like that, then I would get you to roll, but no. Vixen doesn't say anything. She doesn't make any move to counter that. She just lets the shotgun be pushed downwards away from Bambi. So now if she were to pull the trigger, it wouldn't hit you straight on in the torso like it would have before.
Right.
But she doesn't, go ahead.
Just as a note, Klaus is watching very carefully to see, to look for that exact moment where it looks like Vixen shows the intention to pull the trigger. Because he's going to try to do something in that moment, just as a heads up.
I'll just give it to you. There doesn't seem to be intention to do that. She doesn't make any move. Yeah. So
she's playing. She's playing.
For the moment, it seems safe enough. She has kind of slightly angled her body so that she's facing you, Klaus, a little bit more. just showing kind of like that weariness in your direction, but kind of like just being more aware that you're there.
Okay.
It's another solid, I'd say 30 seconds. If nobody else says anything, that Vixen kind of just stands there with Bambi's hand on her shotgun as she looks from person to person. Her eyes kind of stay on Sid for just a moment longer before moving past to everybody else. And that smile kind of returns to her face, droops a little bit when she looks at Klaus, but then comes back into place as she steps aside closer to the metal grating that pushed away from the door and holds out her hand. And you can see that her nails are painted a bright red. They're chipped, but they're still painted. And she holds out her hand to motion for everybody to go inside.
Bambi's like, it's a trap! Oh, literally. Bambi still has like that absurdly cold, cool, and like not okay calm as she looks at Vixen. And she's actually gonna look back at Anastasia and Pepper and be like, well, I'm not the one making decisions.
Now, Pepper actually looks at you, Bambi, and says, "Are you going to kill us if we..."
There's something, Bambi doesn't answer, but there's something that flashes across Bambi's eyes that doesn't really fill you with comfort. But from what you know, Bambi's rage is purely reserved for Vixen.
As this exchange is taking place, Vixen starts to hum a little tune, and it doesn't seem to be anything in particular, but the nonchalance with which she does it, I feel like would particularly grate on Bambi's nerves, just because Bambi does so much singing on her own, and it serves a purpose, or she does it when she's happy. So to have this kind of like counter challenge almost, where Vixen is just standing there whistling, as background noise as she waits patiently for you guys to make your decision on if you're going to accept her invite or not. Just in the background, very softly.
Everybody breaks out in song and dance.
Unfortunately, I didn't write this episode to be a musical episode, but I'll keep that in mind for future.
Bambi waits for Anastasia and Pepper.
Pepper looks at Anastasia like, can we trust this gal? Like, cause she does remember vaguely that Anastasia said they would meet someone, that they have a potential ally in this area. And it seems like Anastasia seems to know, like, kind of the allies and foes a bit more than Pepper, who's been completely and utterly out of it and just trying to survive.
Anastasia looks obviously very cautious as well. Like we mentioned before, this is still kind of a wild card. And she has her pistol drawn and aimed at the ground. She kind of looks around the group, kind of mirroring Vixen a little bit as she looks from person to person, kind of taking in the mood and the atmosphere a little bit. Her main concern right now, obviously, is Bambi, who is trying her hardest to keep her cool.
And a little unhinged,
A little unhinged. And obviously Klaus has now just stabbed Vixen with morphine. So
yeah, that doesn't...
she might be a little irritable from that, but she gives one definite nod as kind of like a cue to go inside.
Okay. and Pepper walks up with the dogs by her side.
So as Pepper approaches, the dogs will probably be more sensitive to this than anything else. But as they get closer to Vixen, they would feel a very specific energy coming off of her. It doesn't seem to be anything dangerous at the moment, but there's definitely like this weird thrum of energy coming off of Vixen that's very unique to her. And that's it.
Okay. If it's like a actual buzz, then I think Hearn will actually try to like find a bug or something and just kind of like, you know how dogs or cats get when they're like looking for a bug or staring at the wall when you can't see anything?
Yeah. It's not something that they would like hear. It's not like a buzzing sound where pets will like just kind of whip their head around to find where the buzz. It's not like that. It's more of an energy, like a feeling, like the way pets can kind of determine a person's intentions and feel if somebody is going to harm them. That sort of thing. So they would feel that energy to know that nothing dangerous is coming from her right now. Okay. Pepper's kind of the one who breaks the standstill, this Mexican standoff we got going on here. Walks up and is like, okay. I love that about Pepper. When she decides to do something, she's like, all right, I guess.
I'm in. All or nothing.
Who's next to join in?
Bambi, as long as somebody that is fairly reasonable minded, semi-reasonable minded, has crossed it, Bambi's just like, and walks in. But I mean, not quite that literally, because Bambi is still too cold. She would walk in, but cautiously, and she, of course, would dart a mean ass furtive glance in Vixen's direction.
When she does so, Vixen fixes that smile back on Bambi, and she says very softly, "Hurry along now, darling. I'd rather be inside before anything comes along."
Bambi can't help it, but like a dog snarling, she like almost bares her teeth a little bit, but she walks in grudgingly.
Actually, like Pepper looks back at Bambi. It's like, so did she kill your dog? Because that's the only like reason that you'd have a reaction like that in her mind.
Bambi turns that snarl onto Pepper and says, "I'll tell you when you're older," and just like struts off into the room.
So Bambi, how are you feeling now that Vixen is out of your direct line of sight?
Like she wants to have an asthma attack.
So as you kind of come down from that high adrenaline rage, give me another resistance.
14.
All right, go ahead. And how many symptoms do you have? 4, is it?
Was it 4 or 6?
I think you have 4, yeah. Roll me a d4. See what manifests for you. What's number 2?
Blindness.
Blindness. So as you start to retreat into Vixen's lounge, you feel this adrenaline is starting to leave you. It's replaced with that very bone deep tiredness, a little bit of that seeping in. And now you start to go blind. What is your reaction to that?
I imagine Bambi going blind is a lot like blacking out. before, like without losing consciousness, where everything gets super tunnely. And so she's done the blindness thing before. She's nowhere new to the symptoms of this, but so she feels it, and she reaches out. She looks for anything that can guide her, but I assume that she doesn't find anything at all. And by the time that she is completely blind, she has managed to make it down to her knees and is hyperventilating on the floor.
Except Pepper is right there, so I imagine she like touches a dog, and the dog just like.
But
Klaus is also
do the
coming in after
dogs
Bambi.
also
by the
have
way.
like adverse reactions as Pepper has to be?
No.
Okay.
Luckily not.
She reaches out, and by more happenstance than intentionally, she finds a dog, but it doesn't stop like the panic attack that like just like washes over her. And she is just kind of rooted to the spot, like trying but failing to keep her breath in check as she like freaks out.
So yeah, Hearn just kind of stops mid, like, because you put a hand on her. Not that you can tell which dog is which, like
No.
if you're blind. But Hearn is one who would like stop and go, what do I,
It just like awkward stands there.
do I like, you know how like men get when they don't know how to deal with a woman who's crying? It's kind of like he kind of stops. Bambi, I imagine, has like a hand on his butt because it's just like well, are you gonna give me butt scratches or you kind of
she's just gonna hold on and hyperventilate. That's all she's capable of doing at the moment. There's that drop from adrenaline, too many emotions at once, and suddenly blindness, and she's dark.
I imagine Hearn just kind of, after standing there for a bit, and I imagine, like you said, Claus is coming. So as I guess Claus is coming behind, Hearn just backs that ass up, like kind of in Bambi's face, like, are you gonna pet my butt? Just kind of.
So Klaus, you come in afterwards and you see this happening. What's going on with you?
I think Klaus will probably. I mean, if Bambi's on the floor, I think Klaus will probably try to help her up, while sort of warily looking out for Vixen, trying to figure out where she is.
I mean, I don't know where Bambi is. She's blind.
It is true. So just kind of as like a point of reference, you come in through the door, and it's to the right-hand side of the room as a whole. So coming directly in through the door, there's a wide open space where a lot of like former tables and chairs have been pushed to the sides of the walls. And there's a lot of them that are piled up by the door. And you kind of get the sense that if she were to need to pile anything in front of the door as extra reinforcements, then the easiest spot for them to be would be next to the door. So that's where you find a lot of them. There are other tables and chairs kind of pushed around the room itself. And then near the back wall, in kind of like the center of the wall, is like a little circular stage that juts out from the back wall. There's another couple of doors on either side of the stage that you would assume goes to a backstage area, just in the back of the stage there. And yeah, so there's like a bar to the far left side of the room itself. There are shelving units kind of on the back wall, some shelves filled with broken bottles. A couple of the bottles are still full, or still at least partially full, and are capped. They're not broken. And then like an old cash register and things like that. So yeah, as Bambi is coming into the room, that area is kind of open and there's not a whole lot in front of her. So you'd probably see her right there.
She's just like on her knees hugging a dog butt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a very
well,
fluffy dog butt.
Klaus is gonna
fluffest of
just
dog
help
butts.
Bambi up and offer an arm. Not really understanding what's going on, but it's sort of there to help.
She actually startles when you first like reach out for her, like Pepper style, like don't touch me kind of like energy. Do you say anything to her?
Oh, of course. Klaus will just be like, "Hey there, darling. Now, what seems to be the problem?"
They turned out the lights.
Oh. Unfortunately for you, I can still see, so I'll guide you along. No need to fret.
She's like still like having a hard time breathing, but she like literally wraps her arms around Klaus's arm.
Klaus just gives her like a little head pit, like, there, it's fine. You still have to show me where to find a suit after all, so let's get going.
She's like, I know.
So as you guys are speaking back and forth, Anastasia moves closer to the door. Sid, you're still on the outside. Are you quick to follow Klaus in? Do you wait a little bit, or kind of where are you?
Vixen still in the doorway?
Yeah, Vixen is standing outside the door, waiting for everybody to come inside.
So yeah, Sid will come in and will like look at Vixen and just slowly like saunter in.
Okay.
Yes, and keep in mind, Sid is very fixated on the shotgun. So stepping in between Bambi and the shotgun was not an act of heroism, but more like a, I want this thing.
Of course. Bambi definitely took it a different way.
Vixen simply gives you a quick wink as you go inside, and then Anastasia follows up on the rear of the group.
Do we have a mole in our midst? Sorry, go on.
No. So Sid, when you walk inside with Anastasia on your tail, you see Bambi, and you hear her complaining that the lights have been turned out. Do you make any comment, or do you just go on inside?
Not my problem.
That's
Love
what I
Sid.
thought you might say. Yeah.
Not surprised.
All right, so everybody kind of comes into the room. It is lit. You can still kind of see everything. It's very dimly lit, however. The only bright light is the one that's shining on the stage. So the whole stage is lit up. The curtains behind the stage, the red velvet curtains, those are lit up. You can see those perfectly well. Very, very covered in dust. You can see footprints on the stage, and there is a small stool. There's a microphone stand that's kind of tumbled over in the back of the stage, but there's a chair in the middle of it. And you can see footprints that stop at the stool as if somebody spent some time sitting there. As you move in, Vixen is the last to come inside. She quickly turns around and shuts the grate across the door once again. Her motions are very juxtaposed to her demeanor earlier. Clearly she likes to have this door shut. And when she said to Bambi, like, come along, darling, it's getting late, taps her watch. She does seem to be very mindful of the fact that anything could come up on them at a moment's notice, and she clearly doesn't want that to happen. So she quickly moves the grate back into place, locks it, closes the door, and locks that as well. And then she turns around to face them. And like I said before, when we were coming up on Vixen, as she came out, she's wearing this long, I I like to describe it as like a widow's kind of robe. The rich widow of the old rich white man who has mysteriously died, the kind of sheer material with the feathered trim. And it dusts the floor a little bit. You can see it kind of like leaves track marks in whatever dust is on the floor as she moves. The clothing she wears has seen better days. Much the same as like her makeup and her nails, everything is a little bit worn down and clearly not as well done as it would have been years earlier. But she comes on in and she looks at you one by one. She's holding her shotgun again in both hands, looks from person to person, and just kind of stands there for a moment. And then she fixes her eyes on Sydney again. And she kind of moves into the group a little bit. And she passes each one of you in turn, slowly looking you up and down, until finally she stops in front of Sid. And she removes one hand from her shotgun. And she lifts it very, very slowly. And between her thumb and her finger, she takes Sid, she takes your chin in her hand and kind of looks you over just once. Do you have any reaction to that?
Nope, not if it means I might get a shotgun.
Fair. Unfortunately,
Klaus
she
has
doesn't.
a reaction to this.
What does Klaus say?
I think Klaus pulls out the Tommy gun and just pulls the barrel back and lets it do the whole like. Thompsons have a very distinct cocking sound, much like a shotgun does. It's not quite that same sound, but it's a very loud, distinct clicking sound that you know that was just cocked. Just does that.
As you do that, Vixen doesn't show any sign that she's acknowledged it. Like she doesn't remove her hand or anything like that. She still continues to look at Sid. And there's another moment of silence, and she's quiet for maybe 5 or 10 seconds. And then she lowers her voice and she just looks at Sid and she says, "Such lovely eyes you have. Not the right color, perhaps." And she pauses and she says, "Sometimes, despite the variation in colors, sometimes you see the same eyes in different people. And I've seen these eyes before, little one, in someone who I grew very fond of. And while yours are brown, his were green." It's rather nice to see them again all the same. And she winks at Sid and drops her hand again. And turns to the rest of you.
Sorry, unintelligible screaming from my end.
That's great.
So yeah, she's standing there now. She's dropped her hand, kind of moved past Sydney once again. Sid, do you have any response to her words, or are you just still staring at that shotgun?
Sid actually, when she starts talking to Sid looks back, kind of confused as she's looking at her eyes, and is just like, "Do I know you?" Like that look kind of flashes across her face. But once Vixen moves on, and after Sid has like a half second to like get back to Sid does, like, if Sid were to look back on that moment, she would mostly just remember the shotgun walking away.
I love Sydney. She's such a little shit. Yeah, when you kind of make that expression of like, do I know you kind of deal, that's when Vixen kind of gives you like a cheeky little wink and then moves on. And she just kind of does a lap around the group of you as Bambi is trying her best to stand upright.
Bambi's not doing so hot right now.
Yeah. You can go ahead and roll resistance for me if you'd like to come out of it.
Okay.
And we can
Good
see
luck,
how...
Bambi. 16.
You start to feel the effects fading.
Okay.
You cannot see right now, But you get this kind of familiar feeling that you know to be an effect is coming to the end of its duration. It will return to you eventually, but it's not yet.
Okay. Well, she's just got her face buried in Klaus's arm. Because she can't really handle much more without her sight. she's just checked out for the moment.
Fair enough. What about the rest of you?
Pepper,
As Vixen kind of does a lap of you, takes a look at your straggly little group.
Pepper is actually spending her time looking around the building. Because, once again, this is a side of town that she's never been allowed to see, like, at all. This is a life that she is not familiar with at all. There's no, there's a curiosity, and so she's just like, so, is this is a lounge? This is, right? Yeah. This is what it's like. It's kind of at no one in particular, but just like, oh.
Anastasia kind of watches you as you take everything in. She doesn't say anything or interrupt your questioning, but just kind of like watches you take everything in.
Yep. Luckily, Anastasia knows a little bit more about Pepper and just kind of how sheltered she was, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so then Vixen comes to stand in the front of you. She's still holding her shotgun. Her expression now is a little more relaxed than it was, whether it's from the syringe of morphine that she had injected into her, or if she just seems more at ease now that there's a locked door in between her and whatever's on the outside. It's unclear, but she looks calmer. And less confrontational.
Cool.
I was about to say, like, what is this woman's drug tolerance?
It's amazing.
Listen, she's had some shit in her time.
Vixen has seen a few things, yes, but you can see now that she's starting to mellow out, for lack of a better word. I think she's just happy that she was able to get inside before it happened.
Maybe that's fair. Yeah.
So yeah, what do you guys have to say to her?
Baby is coming from a significantly more vulnerable spot than she had hoped. But she doesn't have much. Like still death gripped and probably still facing Klaus, like not able to see anything. Not able to see anything very well. And she's the one that says, well, what do you want, Vixen? What are you gonna take from us this time?
Well, she's not. I don't know her.
Yeah, I remember it. Like,
She's like, wait, I'm not. What did she take from me before?
Tammy's just like dumbstruck. She's. Go on.
I was just gonna say, what was our goal again? I've forgotten what we're supposed to be doing.
So, last session when we were talking about where we should go from here, all Anastasia told you was that she thinks that you guys might be able to find a few allies kicking around that might be of some sort of use to you in getting out or making a plan or something like that. So the idea leading you here to the entertainment district was, that perhaps we can find someone here that might help us get out. And judging by the way Anastasia has not, She didn't say, let's not go in there. It's pretty clear that perhaps Vixen was one of those people that she was talking about. Because Vixen, from what you can tell, if you just take a moment to look at her, despite seeming a little off the deep end, she seems quite reasonably present. Like she's not got any sort of deformities the way people who are addicted to cane seem to display. She has remained relatively calm. Now, whether that's her being crazy on her own in some capacity, you're not sure. But she seems pretty well put together and mentally intact. She's not a splicer.
Okay. Interesting.
She doesn't display any signs of being in the process of turning into a splicer either.
Interesting.
From what you can see.
Bambi's probably further along than she is.
It would seem so.
Especially
just in
Bambi's
the way...
like turned with like away from the group, talking to them like they're in front of her.
Yeah.
In that case, I think Klaus is not having like a definitive objective put in front of him, is just gonna look at Vixen and be like, well, as you can see, my clothing is somewhat ruined, so could you point me in the direction of a new suit?
Bambi's gonna slap his shoulder.
He'll just look down at Baby like, what? I need a new suit.
I know you need a new suit. I told you we would get a new suit. Why don't you have patience?
'Cause I'm bored.
She reaches up and is like feeling for your face. And when she finds your cheek, she gives you a really hard like pat on the side of the cheek. And she's like, suck it up, buttercup.
Klaus just sort of takes it in stride, just like, fine. As you so eloquently put it, suck it up and be patient if you'll hurry up.
Well, if I could see, I would.
I'll just tell me where to go and I'll point us in the right direction. You just tell me where to go. And
Well, it looks like we're in the
help you
midst
get
of
there.
something now, so you're just gonna have to wait, buddy. And she puts that inflection on buddy,
Yeah.
like you ain't getting nothing, sir.
Klaus is like, fine. But I'm getting bored and that's never a good thing.
Well,
I feel
tell
like
your
now would
better
be-
half to come out. Sorry, go on.
I feel like now would be the appropriate and hilarious time to let you know that Bambi went straight for the lounge and you guys passed clothing stores on the way in.
No, absolutely. Absolutely.
Whoops.
Yeah,
also,
but Bambi made such a beeline for her own lounge, and then everything just took off from there that nobody had any time to look around. But they were there.
That's amazing. Also, just to make clear, like, Klaus is full on having this conversation with Bambi and completely ignoring Vixen in the process. Like, not caring that there are other people in the room. They're just having this conversation as if they were the only two people in the world.
Yep, that's what I figured.
Yeah.
If
Well,
Vixen
thanks,
were
Bambi.
inclined to be to agitate Bambi right now, she'd probably say something along the lines of, "Oh look, finally a man who ignores me and pays more attention to you." But I don't think she's too inclined to start back up that machine again.
Oh man,
Oh.
that would be
Oh, that's
hilarious. But
so
that would
good.
also just
would be-
elicit the worst response ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been
yeah.
funny, but
Oh, I love that. That's amazing.
There's always that little piece of me that's like, what would I do versus what would I have my character do? And sometimes
Absolutely.
those don't line up as much as I wish they did.
I feel
But
that.
I don't think
Yeah.
Vixen would poke that wasp's nest.
Not right now, at least.
Yeah, not right now. Maybe it'll be an offhand comment that she makes later. Who knows?
Love that.
When Bambi has calmed down a little bit.
Maybe.
So I guess since that whole thing's going on, Pepper finally stops like looking around and stuff, and actually looks at looks at I totally blinked on names. Vixen. Thank you, Brian. Wow, why are you the way you are? I really am serious about probably getting a migraine. Anyways,
I'm so sorry.
it happens. My lack of sleep has caught up with me. Anyways, so she looks at Vixen and says, "So, okay. So you're not going to kill us, and I don't think we're going to kill you." She actually
Very stood out
stops.
on that.
Stops and looks
Vixen
at Klaus.
Vixen just says, "How comforting."
Yeah, she stops and looks at Klaus, and she says, "But we can't stay here. We're wanting to leave here, but Penelope won't let us."
Figures that bitch never did learn how to have fun.
Something we can agree on. Bambi says snidely, facing the wrong direction.
I'm not the one who refused to agree with you. Pretty sure that would have been you. But, you know, it happens.
That like corner snarl returns to Bambi's face. She doesn't have a retort. That's all.
But if you were, so you're not friends with Penelope. It's clear that Pepper's struggling to put her words into thoughts, or thoughts into word. Oh, guys.
The weird
You
thing,
good, Boo? You good?
I didn't even catch that you reversed that until you said something about it. My
Oh.
brain just
Yeah, I didn't
flipped
notice
into the
either.
right way without even thinking about it.
It's like when your brain automatically translates between languages into your head. I just knew what you meant.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
brain's
So
autocorrect.
Yep.
yeah. So she's struggling. Like, it's clear that she doesn't have that eloquence that she got when she got spooked by Bambi's whole thing earlier in the gardens. So she doesn't have the eloquence right now. She's kind of, yeah, she's doing her best, but it's clear that nobody else is gonna kind of step up. So Pepper's trying.
A for effort, Pepper.
Mm-hmm. So you're not friends with Penelope then? So, because if you were, you'd be trying to kill us, I think, because so far, that's all she's been doing.
As she listens to you speak, Vixen starts to walk over towards the bar area. And now you can really start to see the effects of the morphine, as instead of like this prim, proper kind of stature that she had before, you can see that it's really, really dragging on her now. She makes her way over to this countertop. And she kind of leans her chest down on top of the bar and leans over and puts an arm down underneath and rattles around for a minute before taking out a couple of glasses with her hands. And she does this with both hands. So she takes out a few with each of them and sets them on the counter, and then uses the countertop to like lean on as she goes around the side of it and picks one of the half-filled bottles off of the countertops, or the shelving behind the countertops, and she holds it up in offering to you and just raises an eyebrow and waits.
To Pepper or?
To the group.
Can Bambi see?
I would say your vision's starting to come back, yeah.
Can Bambi make out what she's doing?
I thought that was going to be an entirely different sentence. Yes,
I know.
you can.
Bambi make out? All right. Gay!
If she can make out what she's doing, Bambi would not be the first to take the glass, but probably the second. If there's anybody else that took it. And if nobody else would take it, Bambi would then be like, well, okay, I guess.
Well, Pepper's actually kind of like surprised by the gesture because Pepper was never allowed to drink either.
Drunk Pepper!
Yeah,
Well,
so she's like, I don't know
all our
if
party
I'm
members-
supposed to.
Who have not had the opportunity to drink away the absolute bullshit that has happened so far. If you would like
Yeah.
to partake, she is offering.
Yeah, Pepper's like, I don't know if I'm supposed to. She kind of
Klaus will
pauses,
follow
but it's like,
Bambi's lead.
I'm not supposed to be here ever, I don't think, but I'm here and I don't think it matters anymore. So maybe I should, but I've never had liquor before. So
You're saying this out loud, are you?
yeah.
Yeah. Vixen waves you towards her.
She kind of awkwardly walks over.
She pours some of the liquid into the glass, which she accidentally pours outside of the glass before correcting herself again, and then hands the glass to Pepper. She takes Pepper's other hand. She's kind of propped up the shotgun behind the counter now, so it's close to her legs, but she has both of her hands free again. And she reaches out, Pepper, for your hand and kind of sloppily puts the glass into it.
Oh.
Some like sloshes out the side onto your fingers.
She's like, well, will that make me act like that? Referring to just how sloppy and
All
Out of
Vixen
it.
does is wink. Just give you a wink. So as
She-
Pepper is accepting this glass, do any of you move to stop her? Do you share any concerns about this happening? But
Not at all.
no.
Pepper then looks at Anastasia like, should I? You have to understand, Pepper's not a child. She is actually an adult. She's 22, so
Yeah, no, Klaus has no problems with this because now Klaus gets to see if everything's okay with the drink or
With the
not.
liquor?
Klaus
If
is
it's
all
a
for
poisonous-
this.
I know. I mean, Bambi's waiting. Bambi's waiting, but she will take a drink after Pepper does.
yeah.
Everybody's
So
just sitting
Pepper
around with
looks at
the
just like,
eyeball
is this
emoji,
poisoned?
the eyes looking to the side emoji.
yeah. So Pepper looks at Anastasia like, should I do it?
Anastasia looks like if she were your mom, she would say no, but since she's not your mom, she doesn't say no. She just kind of gives you a look, the same kind of look you've seen her give in situations where everybody needs to be cautious. It's kind of one of those mom looks where it's like, if you continue to act rowdy, then we'll see what happens when we get home, but I'm not going to stop you from doing
Fuck
what
around
you
and
want.
find out. Oh.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
So Pepper does. She takes a sip and then immediately starts coughing.
As soon as you do, Vixen's tinkling little laugh fills the room once again.
And only
She's
because
like, I don't like it. I don't like it.
only because it's habitual, Bambi scowls at the sound of her laughter.
She's like, is it supposed to like burn your nose?
Yes.
It's like up my nose.
So Bambi
Um,
Bambi comes up and she goes to pat Pepper on the shoulder but doesn't. Like you can see her be like, no, and like
Smart.
smooth her hair back.
You've learned your lesson.
And
Good job, young grasshopper.
she looks at Vixen with disdain. and looks back at Pepper, and she says very gently to Pepper, she's like, if you inhale, take your shot, and exhale, it doesn't burn as much.
So okay, so like breathe. All right. Okay.
Breathe
So-
in, take your shot, breathe out.
Okay. Like
Oh my god, no! No! Bambi, like, oh!
On today's episode of Exodus, we teach Pepper how to drink.
Breathe
Uh,
out,
while-
breathe
while
out,
this is-
breathe out.
While this is happening,
She's just joking.
Vixen acts like nothing's going on, and she just continues to pour the liquid into the other glasses and push them over to the edge of the table for everybody else to take them. And then she just takes a swig straight from the bottle.
Yeah.
Klaus is just watching all of this with amusement and just waiting to make sure nothing bad happens before drinking some as
I
well.
would like to note that alcohol and morphine are not going to bode well for
No.
Vixen later.
Uh-huh.
Just so
Yeah,
you know.
I know. She only takes one swig though, and then caps the bottle and puts it back on the shelf.
All right. Okay. I just want to make sure.
So once Pepper gets a hold of her coffee, because she literally, goes down the wrong drain,
Yeah.
she's like, that doesn't. Cooties.
Cooties?
Because she just
She
drank from
poured
the
the
bottle.
glasses first.
But it was already half empty.
Bambi's
It's
not
alcohol. It'll kill anything.
It's
Wait.
true though. Alcohol is a bacteria killer. It's good for you. And this is where Bambi is just like, well, you're not dead, and you're not dead, but I can't trust you, and throws her drink back.
Klaus is just. I don't know that Klaus would actually say this, but is probably thinking something along the lines of, like, well, yes, there's lots of problems, and technically alcohol's the solution. But yeah, Klaus will
Oh
drink,
God.
drink while thinking that.
I love to see it. Sid, are you partaking?
Sid just watches everybody, sniffs it, and then like pulls I think her name's Jessica from Love is Blind, and just like lets some of Pepper's dogs have it.
Oh no!
The dogs get drunk. Poor dogs. Audience, do not give your alcohol to dogs.
It's bad.
No, that's so quick anecdote. A friend of ours has a CBD lotion rub stuff.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Oh,
his
no.
dog ate it. His dog ate
Oh,
it. It was
yeah.
very, very,
I remember that
very
story.
high. There was many hours spent at the vet,
Yeah,
I
the videos
can
were
only
funny.
imagine.
but the videos were funny.
that poor bud. Anyways,
Just as a little, flash a little red light here. Anything we do in our game, we are not condoning that sort of behavior in real life. So just
Absolutely.
because it happens in the game does not mean that we think that is a good idea. Our characters are idiots and they behave as such. Please take
Yes.
it with a grain of salt.
Yeah,
Also-
no. Klaus is a villain. Absolutely not a role model.
Yeah.
Also, like
Klaus is a horrible
teenager.
person.
I really just
never
wanted
pet
to,
Pepper's
around
emotionally
dog.
stunted.
I really just wanted to put that out there as a just in case. I don't
Yeah.
think anybody would do that, but you know.
What were you saying, Riley?
Oh, like, and also keep in mind, Sid's a teenager with like doesn't really understand a lot of things, hasn't really been around pets a lot. Like, it's
Maybe
very
that's a
much
good
just
thing.
like, just kind of like, oh, I'll just feed this to
It's
you know.
like that reaction where you just put a
Doesn't
plate under the
understand
table
alcohol.
for the
Yeah.
dog. Just kind of like that gut reaction. Yeah, we get it. It happens. It happens. Sid is Sydney. She kind of just does things. So yeah, that's
And we're
totally
also
fine.
murdering people in this, so I mean, you know, also
Yeah.
don't murder people.
Yeah, that's
Life
that's another one.
advice for Blackfeather Guild: don't murder people.
Yeah.
Aw, what am I gonna do
My
with those
favorite-
bodies?
My favorite part of this whole thing is that Anastasia, as a nurse, internally is screaming. But as someone who is trying to survive the literal apocalypse, she like cannot expend that energy to care. So like the part of her who is trained to do no harm is like, this is not a good happening. Stop it. But her as a survivor is just like, too much energy. It's not my problem.
Not my circus.
Not
Yes.
my monkeys.
I mean, it kind of is, but
Yeah, no, Pepper doesn't drink any more than that. Two wrongs don't make a right. I guess.
Valid.
So,
That's
so
fair.
she's gotta puts the cup down.
Bambi drinks it. She throws it back.
none of
She
you
enjoyed
die.
libation. Oh, good.
Wow.
It's cool. good.
You,
It's good-
yeah,
good to
you can
know.
see there. Well, immediately, I suppose there are no symptoms. You are not dying. I mean, Vixen herself also took a swig of it, so
Yeah.
unless she's looking to bite the dust today, which I can assure you she's not, seeing as she closed and locked that gate pretty fast.
Yeah.
You know, you can assume pretty well that the drink is safe. And like Rowan pointed out earlier, the bottle was half empty to begin with, so clearly she's been drinking it. So you guys
Yes.
are fine.
Pepper totally noticed that, and that's why she pointed it out. It's
Mhm.
like, so we're drinking Vixen spit. Anyways, so Pepper does after that. She's like, so okay, so you're not friends with with Penelope, and you don't want to kill us, and do you want to stay locked in this lounge forever, or do you want to try to go with us? That is if Bambi doesn't kill you, because I asked this.
So I picture it to be a lot funnier if I relate Vixen back to myself, because I know my own experiences and I know what I'm like. Vixen under the influence, trying to stay alert. She's the type of person who, while impaired, is trying to make it very obvious that she can still follow along what you're saying.
Nodding the whole time.
Yeah.
Mm.
Which is something that I also do, where I like over explain to let you know that I am in fact still listening and still have the capacity to listen and absorb information. So she's like staring at you very intently as you're speaking and trying not to like blink too much, not succeeding very well.
Yeah. Hey, listen. There's nothing weird about this. Pepper is very familiar with weird, so, and plus she hasn't had like exactly a lot of interaction with people outside of, you know, her family home, aside from eating them. That's a story for another time, though. So she so she's like doesn't even notice that there's something weird about this.
She's just like, yeah. Bambi's on the other side of her, pouring another glass.
It takes a minute of Vixen kind of replaying what you've asked in her mind, as she like looks to the side and sees Bambi pouring herself another glass. And she looks back to you, Sid, and she says, I mean, we've been stuck here for so long. The thought of leaving is almost like a dream itself.
Like seeing actual sun. I've never seen the surface. I want to go to Africa and hunt a lion, like my grandpa did, and I want to go to Asia and see those the parasols with the and the cranes and the rice fields, and yeah, that's what I'm doing. But I only ever saw it in Grandpa's journals, so I think it sounds like a good idea. I mean, maybe I can actually get help up there, maybe? Like, maybe there's a chance that maybe I can be less weird in my brain. Like, I think we all are a little bit, except for maybe Anastasia.
Vixen just replies with, well, I'm sure Penelope must have some sort of information, at the very least, on how to, if not reverse the effects, then at least make them lesser.
I don't know. All she said was basically like that we'll all go down with the ship, kind of. You know, the metaphorical ship, where we're the ship. Just
Vixen just holds up a hand. The universal stop talking.
oh.
Excuse me.
And she looks to you, Klaus, as well, and kind of Sydney in that general direction. And she says, and what do you hope to get out of your stay here?
I think Klaus would respond with, well, first off, I'd like a new suit.
Vixen just rolls her eyes. She looks back to Pepper and points to Klaus, and she says, I think your companion is broken.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
we're all
two.
quite broken here.
There's two people in there, you know. There's but that one's really crazy. The other one is also not nice. But I would count that.
Teddy bear.
No, he isn't. He's so yeah, I would say that's broken.
That?
After shooting Pepper a look, Klaus will we'll just say, yes, anyways, aside from a new suit, the other one, Nick wants more data for his research. Honestly, if you were to clear out a lot of the more homicidal lot out of this place, it'd be a nice summer home.
That just gets a snort from Vixen.
Of course.
Yeah, so when you say that, she kind of just snorts without humor. The one time that there's kind of no humor in her expression, as she thinks about staying here and turning. And then she looks around the group and does kind of like a full circle of everybody. And then she says, well, I don't know about turning the place into a summer home. You know, it was quite beautiful in its heyday. At least something down here was beautiful once. And she kind of like tilts her head to Bambi and then rolls her head backwards as just kind of like letting her hair down before looking back to Klaus. and puts a hand up, and she's like, I, for one, would certainly like to see the sun again as well. So I think, that being said, that perhaps we can get along just long enough to come up with some sort of plan to get out of here. Wouldn't you agree?
Bambi just sniffs over her drink, like, like that, like, I'm not even gonna pay you the time of day kind of gesture.
Pay you the time of day. How much does it cost?
She's taking being called ugly very well. I applaud her.
It's better for Bambi to just. Bambi wants to so bad.
Water under a leaf's. Fuck.
No.
Water over a duck's leaf.
No.
Off a duck's back?
No, she's holding all of this because one day she's gonna smash Vixen's brains in.
One day she'll snatch.
That's what she
Vixen's
tells
leg.
herself to sleep at night.
I
Oh
think
my
Klaus just
God.
sort of puts a hand on top of Bambi's, sort of a like, it's okay, sort of a gesture, and looks at Vixen and just says, well, you certainly seem useful for us for now anyways, so I don't see any reason why we can't be civil.
He's not nice, by the way.
Bambi gives Klaus the same look. She's just like, I don't want you anymore.
Saw you over there being all buddy and laughing at me.
Yeah.
Bambi has officially jumped the simp ship.
At some point off camera, Klaus will explain that no, don't worry, I'll help you kill her once we don't need her anymore.
Bambi doesn't disbelieve that, but she's not sure she's gonna like the outcome.
Yeah.
So with that, Vixen kind of gives them a half little smile again. And she says, well, I'm glad that we've come to a favorable conclusion. And she just kind of like slumps back against the bar. Yeah, and I think we'll probably end the stream early today, because I know we've kind of got some stuff to do, but I think we'll call it there. Now that Vixen is kind of under the impression that nobody's gonna kill her while she's doped up, so. But yeah, that's where we'll end it today.
All right. I will need to disconnect though, because I have to go get ready for bed.
Okie smoky. Was there anything that you would like to say or plug or anything like that before you leave, just so that the viewers can check you out?
Oh my god, that moment with Vixen and Sid. My heart!
So in case it wasn't clear, Yasmin was right all along, and this is absolutely Mira.
I knew it!
All those times that you said, it's Mira, and I said, how do you know? And you were like, I don't know. Yeah, you do know, but
that's exactly how I told it to you, even in text. I don't know.
Yeah. Me just casually sitting there, very, very calmly being like, but how do you know?
Because that's how I know.
But yes, there you are. A
Anyways.
fresh Mira for you.
I appreciate you all. Riley, it was really, really great to get to roleplay with you again. I miss you, and I hope I get to roleplay with you again in the future when you're able to. And y'all are lovely. And okay, I'm going. Bye.
See ya. Bye, guys.
Now our
All right.
screens are all probably a little bit fucky wucky, but that's okay.
A little bit.
A
That's
little,
okay.
little bit wonky. That's all right.
It seems that my screen is focusing more on my chest area here. enjoy the view while it lasts, I guess. But anyways, all right. So I guess with that, I should go next, right? That would follow.
What was your favorite part? Where can we find you? And anything else you want to share?
My let's see, my favorite part. I don't know. It Pepper taking, I guess taking lead there was really funny because she is not a leader. I know that I typically play like hard lead type characters, but she is not a lead. So the fact that she's like, oh, I'm gonna have to lead. So you're not killing us, okay? Want a party? Like, hello, my fellow kids. Like, that was really funny for me. But yeah, the whole thing was quite enjoyable. Just the interaction between the characters. Where you can find me next is Saturday. I will be doing Saturday noon game is my Time Travelers game that I GM, and that is kind of a creepy sci-fi type game. Last time we had high school with a memory eating monster, so exciting things. Yeah, that's me. You can find my other stuff at rowannorthillustrations.org, like my up and coming handmade watercolor set, and I'll be posting some homemade paper as well. So
Awesome.
Sweet.
Riley, how about you? What was your favorite part? Where can folks find you? And anything else you'd like to share?
Well, I mean, I obviously loved getting to see Mira. Definitely amazing. But it was just fun to be Sid again and just like remember the chaos that is Sid. And because the last time I played with you all, that was like before Klaus was like super out there, like, oh, it's me, Klaus. So it was really fun to jump back into that where Klaus is just like not hiding it, just like, hello.
I'm here.
Just your friendly neighborhood villain.
Yep. It was fantastic. And I've missed playing with you all, and it was really nice to be able to play with you all again. But you could just find me everywhere online at Arielle Knits. That's my thing. So I'm a fiber artist. That's it.
All right, awesome. And then last but not least, Vanessa, what was your favorite part? Where can folks find you? And anything else you'd like to share?
My favorite thing about this session was just the ability to kind of finally bring Vixen into the fold. I've been looking forward to having her interact with you guys for such a long time. I kind of spilled the beans to Riley that it was going to be Mira when she unfortunately had to dip out of the session. So I figured because it was an Easter egg that I had planned in there more for everybody, but more so for her, because especially with the likening the eyes to Jonas, I wanted her to be able to experience that, but I'm so excited that she got to experience it here while we did it instead of having to watch it back through the VOD. So that was really, really fun. Super excited to have Riley with us again. And you know, Riley, you're always welcome to join in whenever you feel like it. Don't be afraid to show up and just be like, hey, I'm joining today, because you know we all love to have you with us. So if you do feel like joining us again in the future, certainly feel free. Jump right on in.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But other than that, yeah, just Sydney is always so fun, and getting her reactions to things, and I hope that I've been doing her justice with the kind of little comments she makes here and there throughout the sessions, because she's just so funny.
Absolutely. I mean, last week with Sydney trying to unfreeze the bits of Bambi's friend.
That was one of my favorites as well. Just her being like really cheeky about it, like, "Hey, do you need me to unfreeze those for you?" So
that was so great.
glad that I could do her a little bit of justice in your stead. But other than that, yeah, you can find me on, what's today? My goodness, today is Wednesday. I was going to say you can find me Saturday, but you can find me tomorrow here at the same time, where I will be playing Anaka Ta in our Star Wars game, who is a dark side user, so she's pretty fun. As well as Saturday as well, when we play Animus, where I play Annie. And then again next week for more Exodus. But you can also find my work on my art Twitter. I do have an art Twitter that I've been posting to more recently, which is at Pepero Draws, and that's Pepero like the candy. And if you are an anime fan, I've just recently posted a picture of Shinso from My Hero Academia. There's a couple of other My Hero pieces up there as well, and a Jujutsu Kaisen one that I'm working on as well currently. So if you're into anime, definitely check it out. I've got some pieces posted there. But yeah, off to Raven.
Awesome. Definitely check out that Twitter. It's really cool stuff. My favorite part, the whole thing was just really good. I really enjoyed the interactions between Vixen and Bambi. I thought that was really great. And I just really enjoyed the point where Klaus and Bambi are just kind of not quite bickering, but just like fussing at each other back and forth, like nobody else is there. That whole conversation, I don't know why, that just, I really enjoyed that. I thought it was really neat. And then also you letting me get away with random crap, like, you know, like just drugging the quote-unquote villain, at least who we think is a villain, or Bambi does at least, to try to make her a little bit easier to get that shotgun away from if we needed to.
Meanwhile, she's behind the bar, like, my shotgun. No.
Yeah. Klaus just like, well, you know, if this gets really bad, we need to wrestle that shotgun away. But it'd be a lot easier to do that if she's on morphine. Anyways, the whole thing was a lot of fun. And yeah, where you can find me next, I'll be GMing the Star Wars game Elite Beskar tomorrow at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. That's going to be a lot of fun. When we left off last week, a big Imperial cruiser was like blasting the warehouse everybody was in with turbo lasers, and everybody was running away and trying not to get shot by this giant ship. So this week we'll be starting off with that whole chase scene, probably. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. Other stuff to share are sponsors, Fundamental RPG and Intrepid, which you can find both of those at coffee.com/raven/shop. Just like it says at the bottom of the screen, just add /shop to the end of it. Excuse me. Fundamental RPG is a tabletop system that I developed, and it is currently available for pre-order. Should be officially releasing, if not tomorrow, then the day after. Had a couple of little delays on the production side that should be getting wrapped up here in the next day or two. But definitely by the end of the week, that'll be available for just straight up purchase, but you can still get pre-orders in right now. And then Intrepid is adventuring gear for IRL. So if you enjoy athletic or casual or outdoor wear, and you'd like that to have some really cool adventure or tabletop themes on them, that's a really cool brand to check out. Also, if you'd like to catch previous episodes of this or other shows that we do, you can check us out at watch.thefantasy.network/videos, or just go to the Fantasy Network and look us up on there. And if they're not up there yet, because they're still working on getting all of our stuff onboarded onto the site, then if you search for Blackfeather Guild on YouTube, you can check our stuff out there as well. And I think that's everything. So we're going to go on a raid. We're going to go raid Zweihander. They're currently doing a really cool looking game. Definitely recommend giving that channel a follow. It's a really cool system. They've got a lot of really cool people that work over there. And it's the same system that we use for our Friday night game here. So yeah, go check them out. Our raid cry is just going to be "We're all mad here," which I'll throw into chat. And I will see you all tomorrow. Bye, everybody.